Well, what's crazy is I don't think I ever told you guys this story either, but I actually was going to go to the Army myself. It was at a point, man, working, having kids, trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was tired of working 9 to 5s. I was like, man, I got to find a career, And for me, just being honest, it was a last resort kind of thing. Now, today I got 2 very special guests with me. I want to introduce these guys. One of these gentlemen currently works in the automotive industry as a product specialist. The other is beginning his journey in law enforcement. While working together, they developed their own podcast, Lot Talks, giving insight on their experiences and encounters with consumers purchasing vehicles. One is an entrepreneur, having his own detailing business, Arctic Detailing, and also takes an interest in photography. The other one is a father of 2, bona fide car sales professional with several Salesman of the Month honors. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Tyler, Headband Honda Man, and Julian, the tall Canadian. Let's go. How you guys feeling today?
Excited, bro.
Excited?
Ready.
Excited to be on the show, guys?
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
You guys don't look excited to be on my show.
It's an honor.
Is it because I'm not famous yet?
Nah, bro.
No, bro, you're going, like, I already know you're going to be, like, I know, take, like, the fame out of it, bro. Like, I know you've always been that guy, like, I've always looked up to. You know what I mean? So, like, I know you're going to do well with this. So, no, bro, I'm excited to be here.
Appreciate
you kind of see it before it literally just skyrockets. So, bro, come on.
That's awesome, man.
Of course,
I'm
excited, man.
Appreciate it. So, Julian, right?
Yes,
let's get this out the way, bro. Let's get this out the way. Because for those of you who don't know, we pre-recorded this show, right? And I messed up the audio. It was terrible. But anyway, we got you back, and a lot has changed in like a couple days. So talk to me, man. So you were working at the dealership, and now you're going into law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
So what made you want to decide to do that?
I've always kind of like had an interest in law enforcement ever since I was a kid. For those of you who don't know, I'm from Canada, so we have the RCMP up there. And as a little
You got a
kid,
what up there? What was that?
RCMP.
What is RCMP?
So Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So
Okay.
They're the Mounties, in other words.
So it's like our JPD?
Nah, it's like
Oh, my bad.
It's federal.
Oh, so you're gonna be a Fed?
No. Well, no. Okay, so what I was saying is in Canada, you have the RCMP. It's your federal police, so it's throughout all the provinces. And I always liked horses when I was a kid, and they're the Mounties, so they're the ones who rode the horses. So that's kind of where that stemmed from. But I always wanted to do like military, something like that, something in that field nature. So
got you. What did you ever take like ROTC or anything like that in school?
No,
well, I don't know. Do you guys have
in Canada? No,
okay.
No.
Anything like that? Nothing like that.
Not offered at any of the schools I went to or any of the ones that I knew in.
Right.
Maybe some of the bigger cities, but for the most part, you just enlist when you're 18. Once you get out of school,
I got you.
You can do reserves in high school and stuff like that, but it wasn't like schools gave that, like the states here where they have ROTC.
Right. T, what about you, man? You ever thought about the military, law enforcement, anything like that? Being a federal agent or anything?
First of all, before I even answer that, I just want to say, if this motherfucker pulls
Have you ever thought about being the ops?
If this motherfucker pulls up on me with a horse, I'm not pulling over.
Bro, they don't got that here, okay? Gosh,
Could you imagine this fucking guy?
I actually could. Or maybe a sleigh, since he's from Canada, pull up on a sleigh.
Oh my gosh.
That might
Santa
be cool.
Claus.
That might be
Christmas
cool.
come around.
Pulls me over, rolls the window down. Show me your maple syrup, eh? What the fuck? But anyways, I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm just messing. So anyways, actually, it's funny you brought that up. So actually, both sides of my family, both my mom and my dad's side, I come from a military background. Actually, a lot of people don't know that about me. And yeah, absolutely, bro. I took an interest in actually special forces units and stuff like that when I was in high school. Not saying I was going to be able.
He's laughing at you. He's
not
laughing.
saying
I don't see you as that.
Not saying I would have been able to go through with that and actually do that, but like I legitimately wanted to go and not do laundry for the military if I was going to do it. I wanted to go and shoot bad guys. Like I knew I could do it.
Bro, I could just imagine like Tyler pulls you over, he walks to the car, you just see his head like in the window.
Bro.
Or this man's
not even
like,
tall enough
this man's like jumping out of like a Black Hawk helicopter and like lands in some water. You ever seen those videos of the little midgets where they hit? It's like
Oh, bro, yeah.
Yeah, I can see Tyler do that.
Listen, if I pull you over and you don't take me serious, bro, I'm just gonna shoot your fucking tires. So it's no big deal.
See, and that's
That's
why.
why
That's
not
why
a
I couldn't
cop.
be no cop. But no,
That's
no,
why he's not a
I
cop.
never wanted to be in law enforcement, but military, absolutely, I did. But a lot of people actually do know this, but for the ones that don't, I'm diabetic, so
Gotcha.
I can't even go to the National Guard. Nothing against the National Guard or
Yeah.
anything like that, but I can't even do that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
So,
Yeah.
it's kind of.
Well, what's crazy is I don't think I ever told you guys this story either, but I actually was gonna go to the Army myself. It was at a point, man. Working, having kids, trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was tired of working 9 to 5s. I was like, man, I got to find a career, And for me, just being honest, it was a last resort kind of thing. Now, with that being said, that's nothing against the military.
No.
I just knew that wasn't for me necessarily, but I knew it was there. The option was there, right?
I feel like for a lot of people, it's that though, like a kind of escape, trying to get away from.
Sorry, guys, I just messed up. But go ahead, Julian. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was saying, I feel like for a lot of people, it's kind of an escape.
Yeah.
Where they're either trying to get out of a situation, or it's just like they don't know what to do, so we'll go do the military, and whether they serve for 4 years and get out, or they end up making a career out of it. It's
Now, I actually come from a very, very strong military background. Like my entire family. My mom was in the Air Force. Okay. Shout out to moms for doing that.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Yeah, Mom. Shout out to you. We love you, Mom. We love you. Mom was in the Air Force. My dad, he's in the Army. He's getting ready to retire from that. So congratulations to Pops.
How many years have you been in for?
I'd be lying to you if I said a number, but it's been over 20 years. Dang. Definitely over 20 years.
Full pension,
cousin was Navy. Sorry, cousin Gene was in the Navy. My uncle was in the Marines.
Same.
I've got National Guard, in my so my whole family, bro, was in the military. And so I kind of, I've heard different stories from each branch, Yeah. And so I chose the Army because obviously that was the closest to me, my dad actively being in the Army, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, my mom, she gave me her insight on the Air Force, which in my opinion, I would have pursued the Air Force.
Yeah.
But funny story about that. When I went to do the Army thing, everything was great. My recruiter was great. Everything was cool. But I went in, and when it was time to pick, my job that I was going to do, before that, I told him, I said, listen, once I take this ASVAB, or is it ASVAB?
Yeah, ASVAB, yeah.
When I take this ASVAB, I'm pretty smart. I scored a 66, you know what I'm saying? That's not too shabby. Yeah. And I told him, I said, I don't want infantry, I don't want tanker, I don't want nothing like that, right? I wanted to go for intelligence. Like, I wanted to be in this dark room, pressing buttons that look like this in front of me and, blowing up stuff and telling you where to go and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, he was like, yeah, man, no problem. I'm sure you could do that. Yeah. So when it was time for me to go get my job, he wasn't there.
Oh, shoot.
I didn't know that he wasn't going to be there. He didn't tell me he wasn't going to be there. He was out of the state, in fact. Shoot. And so I went in, and another officer was there, and she was like, all right, we're about to pick your job, boom. So I'm like, cool. She was like, all right, looks like we've got infantry and tanker and something in the medical field. Yeah. I said, well, I don't know if you talked to old buddy or not, but that's not what I'm doing. And she told me, she said, you should look at it as an honor to serve your country no matter what you're doing. I said, you got me fucked up. I'm not doing. I didn't say that, but in my head, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, bro, like, nah, like you're telling me it's an honor to serve my country and do something I don't want to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I left. That. Told my dad. My dad was like super pissed. He was like, nah, hell no. Come on with me, son. I got you. We gonna shut it down. And he did his thing, but it still put a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. So I went to the Air Force, and the issue with them was that they asked me if I was married, and at the time I wasn't. And they asked me if I had kids. Yeah. And no cap allowed. I'm not gonna lie about it. They basically told me the military would look down on that because I was unmarried and I had kids. What? So I had to sign my rights over. And it's not, when you think about it, now I understand what they were trying to say and what they were doing and why that rule was there. But for me being 19 years old, like,
what was the point behind that? Because I don't understand that.
Signing the rights over?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm going to be stationed somewhere else. Yeah. I can't bring her at the time. I can't bring the kids out. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not legally married.
Oh, you were saying, at the time you were with somebody.
Correct, right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. I see. Yeah, I see
right.
What you mean. Okay.
So in my head, I took it as a bad thing. I was like, yo, like, nah, like this isn't what my idea of the military was. And so that was my experience with going into the military. And, you know, looking back on it, it's one of the greatest things I didn't do.
Yeah.
Just because of everything that I've experienced in life and where I am in life now. But no shade whatsoever to anybody that does the military. I think it's a great thing. And it's definitely something that is not designed for the weak. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I was weak-minded then, but I just didn't fully understand what I was getting myself into.
Right.
And I was doing it for the wrong reasons anyway, you know. But, yeah, my bad, man. That was my 2 cents on the military.
I didn't know that. So that's
awesome,
man.
Yeah.
Good story.
So Julian, you kind of mentioned you're from Canada, right? Tyler, you're Mexican American.
Correct.
Okay. Have you ever? Obviously, you visited Canada because that's where you're from. Have you ever visited Mexico or anything?
I haven't.
You haven't?
Never
okay.
been to Mexico?
No, I've never been.
Okay. All right.
I've been invited.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to go.
Right.
I just never been, man. And then also too, like where my family comes from, it's I wouldn't go there anyways. It's very dangerous. Hence why they're all here now.
Got you.
And not there. It's now again, but aside from that though, no, I mean I've been invited to places that aren't as dangerous, and I am going to go. You know.
So you do plan on going eventually?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've got a really good friend that lives in Jalisco, Mexico, which is it's like right outside
Jalisco.
Jalisco. It's right outside
Jalisco.
of Jalisco.
It's
right outside. It's
Jalisco.
right. Jalisco.
But you got to say it in my voice. Jalisco.
Jalisco.
Yeah, I don't know. Jamel did better, bro.
Look, you've got the radio.
I did it backwards.
You got the radio voice, man.
There it
I
is.
ain't got the radio voice, man. I'm Mexican, bro. Like I can't do what you do, bro. I ain't got that bass, man.
Yeah. So speaking of being from different places, do you guys think it's important to know your heritage, know your background, know where you come from, visit those places, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that must have been a good question because they looked at each other like, ooh.
For me, yeah, absolutely. It's everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how important it is to like Canadians, but like.
Well, the thing is like all my family's from Holland. So
Where is that?
Holland.
Okay.
So it's like I would love to go visit there. We're all Dutch. That's where my last name's from.
Got you.
Don't get wider than that.
Yeah, that's true. But that's where the height comes from.
There you go. So are people in Dutch, or what is it? Is it
Holland?
Holland, my bad.
Yeah.
People in Holland are tall?
Yeah, most of them are.
For real?
Yeah, Dutch.
Really?
Yeah. Dutch women and Dutch dudes, bro. They're tall, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you, or would you say you're one of the shorter people in your family or like one of the
I'm the
taller
tallest.
people? You're the tallest?
Yeah.
So everybody's not tall then?
Thank God.
No, I mean, they are. Like, my dad's 6 foot. I mean,
Okay.
I guess, I feel like every generation keeps getting a little bit taller and taller.
Yeah.
Back in my dad's generation, he's definitely, like,
Right.
taller. But, like, my uncle, he's 6'3".
Okay.
My dad's brother.
Yeah. I feel like those are average heights though.
Now,
Yeah.
but, you know, you think freaking.
Because you're like 7'1".
No.
Yeah, you are, bro. Like, yes, you are, bro. Yes.
Listen, my wife cannot watch this show now.
Anyways.
This motherfucker just said average height is 6'3", and I'm standing here at a staggering 5'7". How about fuck both of you guys?
It's known that Dutch people tend to be just a little bit taller.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I asked that question because I think it's interesting that I personally feel like everybody, if afforded the opportunity, you should definitely be able to visit, you know, your heritage and do those things.
Where's your family from?
That's what I'm getting at. I really honestly don't know. You know, obviously I'm African American, you know, but I don't know to what extent. Okay. I think it would be really cool to figure out, you know, just my heritage, my background, because I feel like, you know, when people look at, you know, your background, your zodiac signs, and all that kind of stuff. Now, I mean, you're laughing, but like all that stuff. If you think about it, like a lot of this stuff, like, have you ever read your zodiac sign? And you'd be like, man, that's me.
No.
You've never.
No,
Dude,
bro.
I can't even get this guy to read the
You
law
don't
of
believe
attraction.
it, or you haven't read it?
I can't even get this guy to read the law of attraction.
I'm just not into that kind of stuff.
What?
Bro.
None of
You're
that,
not
bro.
superstitious?
I'm not. I believe.
Bro.
I'm a black and white person, bro. I believe what I believe.
You're definitely a white
But,
person.
There's no.
like,
no. He's a white and
I'm
white
not
person.
I'm not a whole lot of
black and
gray.
white-
I'm
white
not a
person.
whole lot of gray.
Depending on what that time of day it is, you might be a little
guess.
gray.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know. No, I love you, man. I
No,
love you.
this is true though. He definitely doesn't believe in any of that shit. Like, there's this book. Like back when he was in sales, like I told him, you know, like the law of attraction literally changed my life. And anybody who knows me, like if they're gonna watch this, they're gonna be throwing up right now because I talk about it so often. Every time I bring it up, like people are like, bro, shut the fuck up, bro. I'm tired of hearing about the book. We get it. It changed your life. Like
what book are you talking about?
So it's called The Law of Attraction.
Oh, okay.
Forgive me if I pronounce his name wrong, but the author is by Michael Lozier. And
say that, Lozier.
Michael. No, we're not gonna do this again.
But just
Michael
try.
Lozier.
is his name.
I say low.
We're not gonna do
Roll
that.
your
roll
your tongue. Roll your tongue.
Why would I roll my tongue?
Roll
your R's.
Lozier.
I can't roll my R's.
That's not right.
That's
wrong.
It's when there's 2 R's. That's when you roll the tongue.
Oh, okay.
Not when there's L's involved.
No, you roll it at the end.
Lozier.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. I got
Leave it to
it.
the Dutch guy trying to tell me how to roll my R's.
Okay, but you're
Thank
talking about
you.
the book. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
no, man, like it teaches you how to attract more of what you want and less of what you don't. And like I try to introduce him to that because like it's so applicable to everyday life, but especially in an environment where you have to perform.
Okay.
Especially, and I tried. And he was like, "No, bro, I'm just gonna keep going to church on Sundays." And I'm like, "Bro, it has nothing to do with that." But okay, whatever. So
I feel that. So when you talk about law of attraction, how do you feel like that applies to you in the work environment, being at the dealership?
So I don't want to get long winded here. So basically, it's not just a book where like you read something and you just take 1 or 2 things out of it. It's when you get to literally page 30 plus, there's worksheets that you physically implement in your life to practice. It's a practice. It's like a way of living, basically.
Okay.
But you don't mix it with like what you already believe in. Like if you're Christian or Buddhist or whatever, it has nothing.
So you have to be open minded.
They
basically.
don't cross each other at all. It's like you can believe in that. That's fine. These are like things that you ever heard the saying like what you think, like the mind is super powerful. What you think can kind of
absolutely
manifest.
I
itself,
believe in that. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
It's basically like teaching you how to harness positive energy, so that way like you can again attract the things that you want in life and the things and less of what you don't. Like, bro, what a lot of people don't realize is like humans are a lot more we're a lot more advanced and a lot more powerful than what we really truly know, right? And there are certain things and certain energies in like this world that you can tap into that I have dude, like I have a journal, right? If anybody knows me, I carry this black book around with me.
Yeah, I've seen
everywhere,
you
right?
carry it, yeah.
And I've been doing this for like 3-4 years. I have countless documents, date stamped and everything of like me practicing this stuff and it like actually working. So like just to give you an example, like one of the exercises it teaches you is when you're starting to attract things that you like in life, like what you're wanting to attract,
right.
you jot those things down. And what you're doing is you're giving the things that you want to happen in your life, which are positive things, attention. Right.
Okay.
That's just one of the practices.
Right.
So like what I'll put is I'll put the law of attraction is working for me in a good way, proof, date, and then I'll write out whatever happened. Now, again, because I know this has gotten long-winded, you're asking how does this work in the workplace? So one of the things that I'm wanting to attract is obviously customers,
right.
Buying customers, appointments showed. So like if any of those things happen, I'll write it down.
Got you.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
No, it makes 100% sense.
We can have a whole nother episode about the book. Let's just be honest. But that's like the moral of the book, though.
Got you. I think that's brilliant, man, because a lot of the times people don't. Everybody thinks of the things that they want to attain, acquire. You know what I mean? But we don't actually take the necessary steps and the processes to acquire those things, right? Yeah. So basically what I'm getting from what you're saying is that, if I take the time to write down the things that I want to attain, my goals essentially, and if I take the time to actually apply myself to attain those goals, then eventually they'll come true. Eventually I'll get those things. So I think that's important. I think that's something that a lot of people don't do. And I think a lot of people want to find a way to obtain those things. So by what you just said, they may say, hey, you know what? Cool, let me go to the Dollar Tree and go grab a journal real quick, write down what I want to acquire.
It ain't got to be an expensive book. It could be whatever. Dude, you can write it on a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's the beauty in it. Like, don't overcomplicate it, And look, I'm not gonna try to sound like an arrogant asshole here, but listen, bro, I've been practicing this for a little over a year, 2 years, something like that. Listen, bro, I can show you my W-2 last year, and I can show you that motherfucker this year, and I'll prove to you that it works.
Yeah, yeah.
And it ain't even got to be about money. That's what a lot of people disconnect from me too, because people know that I'm really like, people mistake my my go-getterness or whatever you want to call it with like being greedy and like wanting to, make, and it's all about the money. Don't get me wrong, money is important. We all know that, but that's not the only thing that drives me, and that's what a lot of people don't know. So like, but again, the reason I said that is because I can prove to you what I practice is proof, but there's other things that I could show you too that are also proof.
Yeah.
But like my main thing that I could like have proof is the W-2s, because they don't lie. Numbers don't lie, right?
Yeah, that's true. And you talk about money, and I asked this question on my last show. It's one of my staple questions that I have. Nick Cannon said, "Money doesn't make you happy. Happy makes you money." What do you guys think about that?
Like, what am I taking from it?
It's subjective. Whatever you assume that to mean, what does that mean to you? Money doesn't make you happy. Happy makes you money.
I think we live in a world right now where it's like, in order to survive, you kind of have to have money.
Okay.
But I think money can buy freedom, and freedom can. I don't know. It's hard. I've thought about this question a lot before, just in my life, because it's like, no, it's not that. It's not that money makes me happy, but being able to just like relax and breathe and not stress.
Money can provide you
financial
comfort,
freedom.
financial freedom. Okay.
Where it's like that kind of sense of freedom makes me happy.
Got you.
And now, to be clear, that's not the whole source of where my happiness and stuff comes from.
Right.
It's not set alone on money.
Mm-hmm.
But financially, there's a lot of like financial stress and stuff in life. And if you're able to have some type of financial freedom where you can relax, you can do things for other people, you can help other people out, you can afford to, spoil your kids, stuff like that. It's like there's a sense of like happiness that comes with that sense of freedom.
Yeah. I think what I took from it was, and T, I'll let you answer as well. What I took from it is that when he said happy makes you money, when you're doing something that you enjoy, that you love doing, you're going to benefit from it.
That's true.
Financially at some point, if you're trying to be for real about it, right? So what I get from it is that you can have $1 million, right? But that may not make you happy.
Yeah.
You can make 50,000. I can make 50,000 from this podcast, and I'll be the happiest person on the world on the planet. So when you're happy, the amount of money you're making is going to satiate that hunger that you have for happiness. You know what I'm saying? For joy.
I would way rather get paid less and do something I love.
And I think that's what he was saying.
And do something I just hate doing every
Yeah. I was gonna say that. I agree
with that being said, there are certain things that I would love to do that financially would not be a smart decision, especially right now.
Yeah.
Where I would be more stressed out. I would have to be at the point in my life where I would have to be like, you know what, screw it.
Yeah, and that's where money doesn't make you happy.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
T, what do you think?
Dude, it's funny. Like, I was going to say what you said. Like, when you legitimately thoroughly enjoy what it is that you do day in and day out, like you'll never feel like you worked a day in your life, right? And well, I've heard this from countless of people, that sort of thing. So I agree with that. But also too, it's funny that you brought that up, because like I'm trying to gain some perspective here to answer this the best way that I can, and it almost goes back to what we were just talking about with, again, the law of the universe, the laws of the universe, and because the law of attraction is, so by the way, the law of attraction is just one of the laws of the universe. There's this whole world out there, right, of these laws that you can practice and so on and so forth. And
right.
I think if you want to, for the spiritual people out there, like, I think it's like, remember what I told you, if you're negative and if you're negative here, you're going to get negative out here, right? And Nick Cannon, to my knowledge, he's one of those people that is kind of spiritual, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I'm pretty sure he practiced some of these things, that sort of thing. Most rich people, wealthy people, whether they want to admit to it or not, there's something else other than, you know, what's on the surface.
What do you mean when you say there's something else?
You know, like you've got like shadow work, and you've got, you know, like the 3-6-9 method, and you've got like the laws of the universe, and there's so many different things. Like I don't care what you say, but like I think that we as humans, like we have no idea what's actually out there, like what's actually possible and obtainable. And I think that most people who are like self-made, I think that they've tapped into something, right? Other than just like hoping and wishing. You know what I mean?
I see where you're coming from with that. My belief has always been that people who are famous, wealthy, know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that had somebody. And I say that because obviously, you know, you guys know I do music on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people will tell me, hey, you know, Mel, you need to take this seriously. Your music is great, blah, blah, blah. But I've gotten far enough, and I haven't gotten as far as I want to with it, obviously, but I've gotten far enough to start to learn that, oh, this person knew this person that knew this person, and this person got in this room. It's connections, right? And I think a lot of that comes from luck and being in the right place and knowing the right people. So
Right place, right time is one of the things
Right.
that's in what's called my so you have like you have what's called your contrast and gosh, my mind went blank here. Clarity. Sorry, it's called your clarity list. You have like what you want, which is on like the left side. Oh, sorry, clarity and contrast. Yes, that's so like clarity is what you want and contrast is what you don't like. So contrast goes on the left and what you actually want, because most people don't know what they want. Let's just be honest.
Right.
Like people will bitch and complain all damn day, and like people that do that, like I've asked them and I piss them off, and I mean it from a meaningful place. I don't mean to piss you off, but like when somebody's like in my vibrational bubble and they're complaining and they're bitching, and we know people at the dealership like this, right? And I've asked these people these questions, and they always
Are you
walk
getting red
away.
in the face, Julian?
They
Are you
always
getting a
walk
little
away.
red
They
on
always
it?
get mad, or they pause, right?
Yeah.
It happens every single time. And I ask them, so what do you want? And I don't mean that like in a disrespectful way. Like I am trying to get you to shut the fuck up. I'm just being honest. But like I mean that in like the most respectful way, and I'm trying to help this person work through this, right? And you know, being at the right place at the right time is one of the things that's on my clarity list.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
And how that's applicable to both life and what we do at a day-to-day places. If I'm at the right place at the right time, that means I heard somebody's in need of a deal from a manager, right?
Yeah.
So that's an example of being at the right place at the right time. Let's take the caps off, right? No
Man's
cap,
getting
right?
fed.
Yeah.
Or right? There's what, 6, 7, 8 guys, you know, avidly watching.
Yeah.
I just so happen to be at the right place at the right time. Somebody pulls up, hey, do you guys have this car?
Yeah.
Hey, I had some questions. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I think what you're talking about is another prime example of like, again, when you're talking about successful people, like, bro, they were at the right place at the right time and the right connection. And, bro, it's positive energy, bro.
Yeah. And just to make one more point before we move on to the next topic here. Again, what I was saying was when I was talking about being in the music and realizing that people are it's sometimes luck, being in the right place, connections. And I was making the point that you said that a lot of people don't know what they want to do. And it's a lot of the times people don't know what they want to do because they don't have those connections. They don't know which way to turn. They don't have somebody to take them under their wing. And I think that it's me personally being the type of person that I am, I think it's a terrible thing because you never know who could be great. You never know who you could benefit from. You never know from a business mindset. I never understood why you want to keep them down, keep them here, just so you can say you run the show. When that person may be something great that could potentially make me more money. So just going back to being in the right place, right time, knowing the right people and all that kind of stuff, I personally think that a lot of people don't know what they want to do in life because they're not given the opportunity. Their talents aren't being exploited. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that was a great thing that you mentioned, a great topic. So my next question for you guys before we move on to our game, it's called Fact or Cap, coming up next. The next question I want to ask you before we get to that is, you guys have heard iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. When is a time, Julian, this is for you, and then Tyler, you'll answer next. When is a time that you feel like you've looked at someone as an iron that has sharpened you, whether that was mentally, financially, physically? You know, when is the time an iron sharpened you?
Man, that's a good question.
Yeah, I just came up with it before the show.
Man, dang, that's a good question.
I'm getting good at this.
Well, I think I have to use my coach as a good example.
Okay. Hey, shout out to Coach, man. Shout out to Coach. Coach, where you at? Coach, if you watching this, shout out to you, Coach.
Keith.
Coach who?
Keith.
Coach Keith. Shout out to you, Coach Keith.
Yeah. So some of y'all know, some of you don't know. I'm also into like fitness and working out and stuff like that, bodybuilding specifically. And so I think a good example that would just be the training that I've been able to do with him and kind of where he's been able to push me in growing mentally, physically, and challenge me in a bunch of different aspects and push me further than I thought I could push myself before. Because one thing I've learned through training with him is that your mind wants you to give up before your body's ready to give up. Your mind's
I've
gonna
heard
tell
that
you to
before.
stop.
Yeah.
And like you're capable of doing so much more if you just push yourself and bite down and kind of put those like scared thoughts, you could say, away. Obviously, he's not going to put you in a position where you're physically going to hurt yourself. But it's getting out those instead of just doing 2 reps more. Pushing 5. Once you get to 5, you're like, holy cow! Like I can do a couple more.
Yeah.
And like pushing yourself to failure every single set.
Yeah.
And every single rep.
I like what you said too. You said your mind. What did you say again?
I said your mind wants to tell you to quit before your body's ready to quit.
Got you.
So like you're always ready to give up before your body is actually to the point where I forget what the actual scientific term is, but it's like 60% or your body your mind stops your body 60% before it injures itself. Sort of say. So you could push yourself, go 60% harder before you get to the point where you're actually going to physically hurt yourself.
Got you. So
if you're not being stupid,
right.
Obviously, if you know that you can't squat 315 or 355 and you're going under the bar and you're like, oh, I'm going to get 5 reps, like that's stupid. Like be smart about it.
Right. So coach basically sharpened you with understanding that when your mind tells you it's tired, it really has 60% more to go.
Yeah, and you just got a lot more to give. And I think that's going to translate really well into the policing stuff aspect. And I think mentally just being a man and kind of growing up, you kind of learn that like you can take stuff a little bit more and don't be afraid to push yourself. And then also even down to like pushing yourself to eat all the meals you have to eat. I mean, when I was bulking, bro, I was eating 6,000 calories a day. I was eating 8 meals a day.
Oh, wow.
And getting to the point where you're like mentally like, I'm not going to miss a meal.
Yeah.
And push yourself, to get down all those meals and stuff and the transformation you make. Like mentally, bro, that's so tough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I haven't cut for competition. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But it's like, even just that aspect in itself, like mentally, that can translate into a bunch of different aspects of life, not just the gym.
Yeah. Headband Honda, man, when is one time that you've been sharpened by an iron?
Man, 2 words. Chase Channel.
Say that one more time. Shout out to big man Chase Channel. That's the second time we've mentioned his name on this episode.
Yeah.
I gotta get Chase on the show, man. Chase, if you watching this, you gotta
that.
get on the show, man. You gotta get on the show. So Chase Channel, he sharpened you. How so?
Man, I gotta give it to him. I mean, I put in the work and the effort, and I'm a student of mental toughness, and I'm an avid gym goer as well. I'm not as big as this fucking mountain, but you know what I mean. I'm still an avid gym goer, and I've got what it takes. I know that, but like Chase allows you to get, even if you're at the top of your game, or if you think you're at the top of your game, he lets you know real quick you're not there. And he
How so?
And like, because like, bro, like honestly, like I tell all those fuckers at the dealership every day, like, listen, motherfuckers, this is my show. You guys are just supporting roles. I tell all them fuckers that I am the best. I told him daily.
So you claim being the best?
It's not a claim.
Wait, that wasn't confident. You claim being the best?
It's not a claim. It's facts.
It's facts. No cap.
No cap.
No cap.
I am the best
Good deal.
at Victory Honda of Jackson.
I agree with you, man. Chase is definitely an influential person, man. He's been influential to all of us, man. And if you say he hasn't, you're just flat out lying. You're flat out just a hater, man. Like Chase has changed my life significantly.
Yes.
So has Brad. I had Brad on the show earlier. Those 2 guys. I definitely take my hat off to those guys. Financially, they showed me how to handle my finances better.
Yeah.
Financial freedom. You talk about being able to buy things I want because I want them, and to also be able to afford those things. They taught me that. You know, just being completely honest, no cap allowed, man. When I first started working there, my credit score was a 468.
Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't bad because I was messing my credit up. It was because I didn't understand what credit was.
Yeah.
And so I thought anytime somebody wanted to give me a loan, sure, I'll take that, you know, not knowing that I'm not making enough money to pay these loans back, right? So I'm doing that. I'm buying cars just because I'm trying to fit in with the mix, and realizing like, dog, like I got to pay this note for like 6 more years. Like I thought it was 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And then I get an opportunity to get another car, and instead of trading that car in and getting gap insurance or whatever, I'm just taking it back to the dealership so I can get the next car. You know, so just making a lot of silly decisions. That,
not knowing what equity is.
yeah, not knowing what equity is. I made another mistake. The screen went black. Sorry, guys. But not knowing what equity is, things like that, man. But they just taught me how to be so much more financially responsible. And I give my hats off to those guys. And then also, too, life lessons, man. Chase has sat me down and taught me how to be a better man without even knowing it. You know,
Right. Yeah.
Chase is great about 2 things. He's great about giving you advice when
You don't deserve it.
no, I wouldn't say that, because he's not going to give advice to somebody he doesn't feel like deserves it.
Well,
Chase is really good at giving you advice intentionally and unintentionally, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, he'll tell you a story that when you walk away from it, you'll be like, dang, like that applies to me too. Like I could do that too, you know. So yeah, hats off to Chase, man. Hats off to Brad, man. And I'll tell you too, shout out to Jeff Wood too, man. Jeff Wood, I love him to death, man. Jeff, he's another manager at the dealership. He has changed my life in the early stages of my career being at the dealership as well. So shout out to Jeff, man. I love him too. So guys, so you ready for fact? I keep pressing this doggone button. See, I need an engineer to be in here. It's not me doing it. You guys ready to play fact or cap?
Do it.
All right, let's do it. So first question. We're going to start with this one. Broke and content over rich and restless. Fact or cap?
Who's answering first?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who you asking?
Either one of you ladies. It doesn't matter.
Fuck that broke shit. Fuck that.
Cap?
Cap.
Big cap.
Big old caps.
Okay.
I ought to take my motherfucking hat off on that one.
So
No caps allowed.
so rich and restless is what you're going with.
Bro, let's get it.
Rich and restless.
I'm already restless,
I
bro.
was
And
gonna
I'm
say
broke,
fact,
so
bro.
shit.
You're going to
I
say
was gonna
fact?
say fact.
Okay, why fact?
I'd rather do, like I said earlier, I'd rather do something. Now I know I just went on a whole spiel about how financial freedom is.
You
like,
definitely
amazing.
just did.
Now that
Yeah.
would be,
Okay.
but I would rather take less and do something that I'd absolutely love.
Okay.
Like one thing I won't go off on a huge tangent here. It'll be super quick. But one thing I've always thought about, like van life and photography, I think that would be amazing. Like I would love to get a van, restore it, whatever, and then if I had a drone, a camera with some lenses, and if Bianca was down, take Bianca and Maverick, and we could just travel, you know, the States, go up into Canada, all that kind of stuff. Like I've seen people do it on Instagram, bro.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're making like a bunch of money, but they're making enough to be able to, you know, afford gas in their van, and they got sponsors for the camera and drones and stuff. Bro, I love that. That'd be so much fun.
Man. I mean, and
You just get to explore, bro. We're only here once. Like, I would rather be out in the mountains hiking, exploring, hunting, whatever, than being stuck at a desk or in a car all day.
I got you.
Yeah.
So my next question, you kind of talked about living life, right? Fact or cap? Live 9 lives versus a lifetime. Fact or cap?
I think cap.
Cap?
Yeah, I'd rather just live forever, bro.
Just live forever. Just live. Whatever you do in life is what you do, and that's your legacy.
Bro, but yeah, because I mean, if you live forever, you're gonna learn from your mistakes in the past, bro, and you're gonna be able to just think about how much like wealth of knowledge you'd have, bro.
Well, the question wasn't live forever. It was just a lifetime. So like, whatever.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
wait, just live.
You
once
don't
or live
listen.
9. Yeah, my mom always said I had an issue with that.
Yeah, no, live 9 lives versus a lifetime. So you kind of answered it, but you took it a step further. So like you said, you know, you said something, you know, whatever mistakes you make, whatever. So if you learn from it. So would you?
Then I would rather live 9 lives, because then you can.
Now I'm not trying to turn your answer around.
But what in my head when I first thought you were saying like live forever or live 9 times.
So as big as that head is over there, you just all this space up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just hot air, bro.
I've been picking on y'all so good. I'm sorry,
That's
bro.
okay. That's what happens when I stepped in the dealership, anyways.
Bro. It's nothing but just like this airhead, bro.
T, what about you?
9 lives.
9 lives.
Yeah.
So fact.
Yeah.
9 lives over a lifetime.
Yeah.
T, what about you? 9 lives over a lifetime. Fact or cap?
9 lives or like 9 lives over the lifetime.
Correct.
Cap. I want the
Big cap?
lifetime. Big cap. I want the lifetime because when you have 9 lives, it takes the urgency out of it. And urgency is what creates greatness. Like the reason why I think greatness is even a thing is because the people who realize it and it wasn't too late when they realized it is we ain't got a lot of fucking time. You know what I mean?
I can see that point. That's a good point.
It puts the fire underneath your ass. You know, like someone like me, the way I'm wired, bro. Like, cause like I said, like you know, for the people who don't know me, like, bro, I'm about as hungry as it gets. You know what I mean? Like I'm really after it, day in, day out. You know what I mean? But aside from that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of the things I've been able to accomplish, the things that I'm able to do, the things I want to do, is all because I realize, like, damn, bro, it's gonna be like, it's all over. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I know I got 9 lives, I'm like, oh, I can chill today, and then chilling the day turns into a week, and then a week turns into a month, and so on. Like, bro, it just takes the urgency away, bro. And
You ever watch that movie where you're like, oh, frick, I forgot what it is.
You're so adorable. Oh, freak.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know me, I don't swear, so I use little terms, anyways. No, but what's that?
Terms.
What's that? That movie where the dude he like dies. I think it's Tom Cruise.
Oh,
he dies and then he like gets back up and it's something War. Infinity War?
I know what you're talking about. I just watched that movie not too long ago. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I was
that'd be like the 9 lives, bro.
I mean, yeah.
It's like,
because he had to get it. He learned every time he made a mistake, he died, and he had to learn. Like,
think about if your first life, bro.
Yeah.
You end up in prison, right?
Oh,
Dang,
we're going straight to prison. Law enforcement.
Well,
so I see how you made the connection.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
some people in this life, they end up in prison, right?
Yeah.
You're in federal prison. You're like, screw this, bro. You're out of it. Restart.
I mean, you're going to have to die to get out.
That's what I'm saying, though. But you got 9 lives.
You go kill yourself?
Yeah, I guess. But that's what I'm saying. It's like then you know what not to do.
My answer.
By the time you get to your last life, bro.
See, somebody will say, man, I hate this. I'm going to kill this person because I know I got 8 more opportunities.
He's making me more confident with my answer that I give.
Yeah,
like, I'm just sitting here like,
anyways.
Yeah. I think personally I would choose a lifetime because I'm kind of with you, T. I just feel like whatever I do in my life, I want to do it to the best of my ability and leave my legacy behind to my kids, you know.
Yeah.
I think living 9 lives would be pretty cool, but I also think it'd be tiring as well.
Like, I got to do this shit 9 times, bro. I'm exhausted after like 2 or 3 of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, like I think it'd be cool because, you know, in another life I might be a superhero, you know.
Damn, could you imagine?
I might be an actor or something, but, you know.
Listen, I'm Mexican, right? Everybody knows that. We've already cleared this up.
I just assume we come back as the same person every time.
Well, my wife is Mexican.
I mean, it's subjective. So, yeah, like I said, I'd be a superhero. I'd be Frozone.
So, my wife is Mexican. Bro, listen, could you imagine going through 5 different Latinas, cuz?
Oh, my God.
Like, I'd be so fucking exhausted, bro. Like, dog, after, like, once I got to the 6th life, like, bro, I'm getting me a white bitch. I ain't even gonna lie.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with
hey, I'm not saying
color.
that, bro. Anybody that's
we
been
love
with
the rainbow around here,
listen,
man.
I fuck with them all. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying Latina bitch is crazy as fuck, though, bro. I'm saying, bro, spend a lifetime with one.
Sorry.
Oh man, I don't think I can do this shit 9 times, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck with you.
So next question, factor cap, toxic friendship over toxic relationship. Factor cap. Fact.
Yeah.
So you rather have a toxic friendship than a toxic relationship?
Definitely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why is that?
Bro, it's that commitment once you're in a relationship, bro. It's a lot harder to put it on pause or walk away from. You feel a commitment to, and so it's also the urgency to, like, at least for me anyways, to like fight for it and keep going.
Yeah,
would be a lot harder than walking away from a toxic friendship where you can just be like, bro.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I think we all have toxic friends to a certain extent. If you think about it, you know,
or you've come across some at least.
Yeah. Did you just point at him? Bro, that's crazy.
I mean it.
Nah,
if the shoe fits.
I think that's fact too.
I
though.
walked in this motherfucker with them on. You heard me?
Yeah, you toxic as hell. Man. You toxic for sure. I think I pick the same thing. I'd say fact to toxic friendship over toxic relationship.
Yeah,
just because,
sure.
man, I'm not coming home to a person I got to argue with. I'm not coming home to a
hell
person
no.
I got to. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not about to get on the phone and I'm like, hey, how's your day? How do you think my day? No,
Well, it's
click,
like the-
doop, doop, doop.
The
Like
level
it's
of like
nah.
partnership between
Yeah,
someone you're dating versus a friend is different.
yeah, yeah.
Like
No,
I
100%.
know I was just kind of clowning on the Latina gents just a second ago, but like all jokes aside though, when you go home, bruh, like that, like your significant other is supposed to be your peace.
Yeah, 100%.
Because like especially like when we navigate the day, bro, like it's multiple hardships and battles like that we've got to face, especially as men.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
and that can be a
absolutely.
whole nother conversation for another time. But like, bro, we go through a lot, bro. And especially like what it is that we do, especially like what you and I do, what you've done and what you're going to do as a police officer, bro. When I get home, bro, you supposed to be my peace.
Yeah. I mean, that's your
Same
best
thing with
friend,
us though.
right?
We're supposed to be their piece as well.
Yeah, true. It's
Yes,
both ways.
yeah, absolutely.
50-50.
No, I agree with that too. Don't be that toxic
Yeah.
significant other.
So next question, fact or cap? It's better to lie to protect someone over be honest and tell them the truth. Fact or cap?
That's
That's a tough one.
That's cap?
yeah.
Okay.
Bro, I think honesty's key.
So you're going to tell the truth no matter what it is. You're going to tell the truth. It's going to hurt them, but you're going to tell the truth no matter what it is.
Yeah. Been in that situation before in the past, where you got to say something that either it's gonna hurt you or it's gonna hurt them.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever lied to protect somebody's feelings? I'm gonna come over and slap that head off your head if you.
I mean,
lied to me.
I think yeah, but not in a situation.
So you're
that
a
I would
liar.
Recall, no, but not in a situation that I would recall.
So you
and be
capping.
like, bam, I know exactly. No. What I would say is
Is he getting nervous, y'all?
no. It's definitely better.
always
It's
nervous,
definitely
bro.
better to be honest, bro. I mean, feelings are gonna get hurt regardless. But think of it this way too: would you rather have someone just be straight up with you off the bat, or find out later down the road that they were lying to you, and then are you gonna be more pissed off now, or are you gonna be
Yeah. No, I feel you.
It'll be worse if they find out later.
yeah?
Well,
if
yeah.
you were just upfront with it type shit. Like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm a husband. And there's a lot of times, I'm not going to lie. I mean, hey, no cap, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I've, because like I said, you navigate through the day, bro. We only have so many units of energy,
Yeah.
for the day. And man, when I get home, I don't know about y'all, but my battery is drained, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm asked a question and I know it's one of those things where like I feel like I gotta give a white lie here or there. If I sat here and said I ain't never done some shit like that before, I'd be sitting here capping with you right now, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with him with what he says too. It really just like at the end of the day, bro, like just be honest and transparent, because like I said, if they find out later and you weren't upfront with them in the beginning, like whether they're gonna be mad or pissed off or whatever the case is, it's gonna be that times a million if they find out later, right?
You
I think-
ever had your parents sit you down real quick? I'm trying to interrupt.
No, you're good, bro.
But when you were a kid and say, "Listen, if you tell me now,
bro,
consequences aren't gonna be so
bro,
bad.
we can go talk
But
to my
listen,
kids right now. That's what I
listen.
say all the
I
time.
talk to your dad when he gets home,
Yeah.
and we find out later, the consequences are gonna be way worse."
Oh, man.
You know why they taught us that
Yeah.
when we were kids?
Yeah.
Because that's real life situations.
Yeah.
And when you get older and you don't have mom and dad to sit there and tell you that, and you got to think that little conversation in your head,
Right.
that's gonna save a lot of trouble down the road if you're just up front right away. Then
Yeah,
you're trying
no,
to-
I
And
agree.
then just navigating through the day with that guilty conscience, bro. Like I said, that goes back to the units of energy and like trying to stay in that positive mindset. It all plays into one. It's all just one big thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like when you think about like the human existence, bro, it's all one big bubble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like when you're really self-aware like that, especially someone like me who's spiritual and like practices all these different things, that's what I be talking about. I can't sit here and be a hypocrite right now. Like, yeah, absolutely, bro. Because like if I really fucked up and I really lied, just trying to buy myself some time from an argument or a reaction or whatever the case is, like, all right, now I gotta wake up the next day and that shit gotta sit here on my chest while I'm trying to like be positive in other areas and navigate the day to the best of my ability.
Right.
Nah, fuck that. I'm nipping that shit in the bud. I'm gonna tell you, hey, this is what happened. I fucked up, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I'm 10 toes down. I'm chest out. Like, this is what happened.
So the question was, is it better to lie to protect someone's feelings versus, or it's better to lie to protect someone versus be honest and hurt their feelings? I think that statement is a fact. It is, or sorry, excuse me. I think it's cap. It's better to be honest, whether it's gonna hurt your feelings or not. But I think the average person
can't do that.
Lies.
It's because people. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just like I listen to a podcast every day, and he was actually talking about that. He was like, bro, people like we as like people in society, like it's gotten so fucking soft. Like we're way too concerned with the feelings of others. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree. I think we're not. And I know what you're saying. But I think consciously we want to always do the right thing and be honest and be forefront. But we don't. And because it's easier to lie. Because
we soft. Because we're afraid of that reaction.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think because you got to think, even working at the dealership, right?
Right.
How oftentimes, and I'm specifically talking about, let's just say, for example, somebody comes in with bad credit, right? Let's just say that, right?
Every day.
Like, right, literally every day, right? Oftentimes we don't, some of us do, but oftentimes somebody comes in with bad credit, an average salesman will be like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, okay, listen, I know you want this car, but this car isn't the car that you're going to get today. And I'm going to tell you why. This is what you need to do to fix this situation. This is what you can do. Right. Blah, blah, blah. Things like that. Right. The average salesman, because we're so, you know how it is, man. You don't know when you're going to get that next lick. You know what I'm saying? You don't know when you're going to get that next.
So we're afraid we're going to miss out on it.
You're afraid you're going to miss out. Right. So instead of sitting them down, because what a lot of people don't understand about sales is it's always about the long game. It's not about the short term.
That's what people fuck up at.
Okay. Sales is about the long game. You want to plant seeds so when those seeds grow and develop, they will continue to come back to you. When you grow an apple tree and the apples start falling, boom, 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 boom. Now you got a bushel full of apples. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And but in hindsight, you know, when we think back, we're like, dog, man, like why did that person go over to the next dealership? Well, it's because you didn't plant the seed. You know what I'm saying? And you weren't honest with them. People respect honesty. People appreciate honesty no matter what form it is.
Yeah.
So again, before we move on, I think it is cap to lie to protect someone's feelings. It is a fact that you should be honest no matter if it hurts the person
or what. Don't be pussy to the reaction of what you think might be the reaction.
Right.
Like whatever, like do the right thing, say the right thing, be upfront, and whatever happens is on them. That ain't on you.
Right.
You did your job.
But
you did what you were supposed to do.
But I stand on it that the average person lies about everything.
Because people are too soft. Because people too soft. They worried about upsetting somebody.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
And it's sad. We're human. So a lot of the times, you know, people will lie, not necessarily. I don't want to use the word intentionally because if you lie, it is intentional. But people will lie subconsciously, I'll say, because they are afraid of losing what's good to them. Were you over there doing crack cocaine? What you got going on over there? Little juicy
that's
bottle
not for
over
this
there.
Party, man. That's
okay.
Salt, man.
There's no cap allowed, man. Put the cap on that one though. I don't know about that one. But yeah, no, I think I lost my train of thought. Doggone it. Anyway, yeah, I think the average person lies because they're afraid to lose out on something that's benefiting them, that's good, when in actuality they deserve to lose it because they were lying about the situation.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. But so guys, I want to move on to the next segment before we wrap this thing up here in just a moment. You know, financial literacy, that's something that I like to touch on in this show. And I want to ask you guys, because you guys know a little bit about this. What is a credit card and what is it meant to do? What is its purpose, having a credit card?
Cut up, thrown in the trash. No, I'm just playing. Credit cards are... So, like, can I just give an example?
It's your show, baby. What you want to do?
All right, so this is something that I used to do that I'm moving back into that I think... Because I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I hate to answer this because if you know me personally, you know I'm a financial shipwreck. But I also have learned from those mistakes, so like I know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something
you can give your perspective from the bad.
I can tell you what not to do,
gotcha,
and what to do because of the mistakes I've made. Like,
okay,
I'm just no cap, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things that I love is the cards that are all purposes. I don't think store cards serve any purpose. I think those really were designed to put people into debt and keep them there. I more so am a fan of like your Capital One cards, your Discovers, your Cities, your Amex, like your all-purpose cards, right? So something that I used to do is, and something I'm going to do again is, I always go for the cards that do the cash back. So whether it be 1%, 2%, I even had some that were up to 5% cash back on all major purchases, right? So boom, what you do is like you got to put gas in a car. You know you're gonna go out to eat once or twice a week. You got to put food on the table, like this, that, and the third, like things that necessities.
Right.
Right. You pay for those things, right?
Right.
And when you get your checks, right, instead of blowing that shit on like living paycheck to paycheck, like putting gas in the car, just doing like the normal people shit, right?
Right.
You're just running this shit up on a credit card, right? And then at the end of the month, what you do is you because you didn't spend the cash, you use the credit card, right?
Right.
You then take you've saved that money that you were gonna spend anyways with the credit cards. You don't spend the cash, right? And then you pay the statement off. Well, what that does is that not only does that help your credit, right, but also too, remember what I told you get cash back, right? So if I'm getting 5% of my money, right, like bro, I'm getting 5% every single time when I go buy the milk, when I go buy the eggs, when I put the gas in the car, when I do the things that like bro, the minute you use your debit card, right, to go put gas in the car, to go buy this or go buy that, that money's gone, vanish, right? You're never gonna get that back. When you have a credit card like that, right, boom, you're getting 5% of your money back, right? And
when you say 5% of your money back, in what form? What do you mean?
Like it keeps a collection on the card, so you can use it in various ways, right? You can either use it to pay the balance off, right? So let's say you rack up $1,000. Well, you got 5% of that. So whatever 5% of 1,000 is, you can take that and you can put that toward paying that off, or you can use it for other things. You can use it like if you want to make a purchase or whatever. It's just money, bro. It's just money that's set aside in a separate entity within the card, basically. And you get to choose whatever you want to use it for. You can save that shit up. It's kind of like Capital One's real big with like like the flight miles and stuff like that. Like.
But your average person isn't flying though.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like your average person does go buy gas and does go buy groceries. That's what I was saying. Like that's why I like those kind of cars. I think if you learn that and you use them correctly, and also too like if you're another reason why credit cards are good is because like if somebody hacks into your credit card, right, and they run that motherfucker up, right? Okay, boom, that's not your money. That's the bank's money, right? They've been that fraud's gonna it's gonna hit immediately. You gonna get your shit back. You straight, right? Because that's their money. They gonna make sure they straight, right? But all right, let's look at the other example of that, right? All right, boom, your bank account, right? That's your money,
right?
So somebody break into that motherfucker right there and they take your shit. Well, guess what? Now the bank's got to do an investigation. It could be upwards of 1-2 months or more before they figure out what the fuck, and then you get your money back. But guess what? Rent still due, mortgage still due, foods. You see what I'm saying? That's why, like, bro, that's what a lot of people don't know about credit cards. Like, that's the benefit.
Yeah.
One of the benefits of having a credit card.
Julian, do you know anything about credit cards?
I don't even have a credit card, man. I don't know. I feel
are you afraid of them, or are you just?
Yeah, I mean, I think I grew up in a household where it was like that's something that was a potential aspect of why we were in the situation we were when I grew up, and I don't want to ever be in that situation.
Yeah,
got you.
So it's kind of a fear of like.
Do you think you'll ever get one or no?
I will say this: in the couple months that I worked at the dealership, I've learned a lot more about finances and stuff.
Yeah. And
it's kind of made me kind of like, okay, I feel like I know how to use it wisely where I can build my credit. But that's only what it would be used for, is just to build my credit. And once I have, my credit established, I probably won't need it.
Yeah.
And I won't use it. But I think doing like a secured loan, I feel like I kind of want to go those routes.
Yeah. It's good to have that extra line of credit. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you're going if you're wanting to borrow money and shit like that, it just looks good. Like especially if you're paying the shit on time. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just another. Yeah. It's just another line of credit on your report that again looks good to the banks when you're wanting to go borrow money. Like you're showing the banks like you can borrow money and you can be trusted.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's just another trade line, bro. Yeah.
I think my opinion on credit cards, and I try to teach this to a lot of people that I encounter on a daily basis. So I'm going to be brief, okay, on my perception and opinion on credit cards. Credit cards are great when you know how to manage them properly. 100%. I recommend that you start off with 2 to 3 credit cards at one time, okay? When you decide to get a credit card, and this is just my opinion, I'm no professional expert. I'm just telling you how I did it and where it's gotten me. When you decide that you want to get a credit card, don't just get one. Get 2 or get 3.
Yeah.
And all at one time. The reason being is because when you first start out, your credit limit is going to be a minimum of $500, and maybe even $250.
I've even seen $300.
$300. Some depending on where you are in life, they may give you $1,000, right? So let's just say that you get 3 $500 cards, okay? Or let's say you get 3 $1,000 cards, okay, for easy numbers, right? You do that, and now when banks look at your credit score, they look at the total amount. Okay, so they say Tyler and Julian, they have $3,000 of total credit, a total line of credit. Okay,
Right, yeah.
The reason why that's important is because if you only get one card with $1,000 limit, you're only supposed to use 30% of that.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that means all that grocery shopping you over there doing, you running up there. I don't know the last time you've been grocery shopping, but I spend $300-400 like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So if I do that in one take, the average person is thinking, oh, I got 1,000 on my limit, but guess what? You spent 500. Now you're at 50% of your card. Now the bank says, oh, you can't manage your money right because you're using half of what we've given you. That becomes
weird.
I agree with you, but again, here goes the arrogance coming out. Shit, my cards ain't got just 1,000 on them motherfuckers.
Well, I'm just saying,
but
this is
This is for the beginners.
correct. This is for the beginners.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So to
Because that's what I did to
Right.
get to the cars that I have now.
Right.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
No, it does.
I left that out, so my apologies. I'm glad that
Yeah.
you gave your take on it because
Right.
you brought like you meant to ask or what I didn't hear was like how to start it out.
Correct.
That's correct.
Now,
Yeah.
are these
Absolutely.
because I'm curious, right? Because I haven't
Yeah.
done this, so I'm listening to you talk about
absolutely.
this outside of the podcast, and I'm just
Absolutely.
like, soaking this all in. Is this like are we talking about secure credit cards, or are these just regular?
Yeah.
credit
So
cards?
I recommend that you start off with a secured credit card through. I'm just going to use I'm no professional expert. I don't know everything that's out there. I'm talking about my experience.
Yeah.
I started off with a Capital One secured card and a Discover secured card as well.
Now, that's where you pay the limit amount on it once.
Correct.
And they kind of hold it.
Correct.
And then that's what your limit is. And then once you're done the card, you get the money back? Or how does that
Okay.
work?
So how it
'Cause
works?
I know how it works with leaders. I don't know how it works with everybody else.
Right. So how it worked with me, right? I applied first for my Capital One secured card. The difference between secured and unsecured is essentially what you just said.
Okay.
So secured is when you provide your own money.
Yeah.
You decide what limit you want.
Yeah.
And then they match it. Or sorry, they don't match it at first.
Yeah.
At first you pay, let's just say $200. Now you have a Capital One credit card with a $200 limit. Again, you don't want to go over 30% of that. So $60 is all that you want to. So you want to put gas in it, and that's it. Yeah. T, you made a point earlier where you mentioned paying off the statement. You also don't want to pay off the statement every month. You want to show that you're carrying over a balance. You just want to make sure that balance is under that 30%. Okay. Unsecured card is one that when you apply for it, and this is after you've established your credit history.
Right.
Then you get a unsecured card where Bank of America says, "Oh, you've managed $3,000 positively in the past.
Yeah.
We'll give you another $3,000 limit, whereas you don't have to provide any money up front."
Yeah.
That's the difference. So yes, I recommend starting off with a secured card. Because now in your mind, you're taking mental ownership of that's my $200.
Yeah.
Going back to what T said earlier, you're spending the bank's money, not yours. Yeah. When you do it secured, in your mind, you're thinking, oh, that's my money.
Yeah.
Now, after about 3 to 6 months, Capital One or Discover or whoever you get your car through will then say, oh, you've managed your money really, really well. Now we're going to match that.
Yeah.
So your $250 becomes $500. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now instead of just stopping at $60 a month or whatever it is, now you can go up to $150, whatever the case is. So again, credit cards are an awesome thing. When you get up to the point to where you can take your cell phone bill or your internet bill or whatever, get those. So again, going back to my 3 credit card method, again, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Have one card that you use for groceries, gas, whatever. Have another card that you have like that cell phone bill, that internet bill, whatever, automatically coming out. And then every time you get paid, make sure you apply whatever amount that you spent down to 30% of your balance. Okay. That's how you do it. And that's how the rich get richer. That's how you can leverage your debt, as me and Brad talked about on our previous show. We kind of touched on it. Yeah. That's how you do those things. And when you learn that method, you can literally be broke and content, but also rich and restless. Yeah. You can mix them together.
And you can also get that cash back too, even
you
if
and
you
this
have those
damn
cars.
cash back. Like, god damn.
I mean, if
Cash
you
back king over
Man,
here.
you can't get cash back starting out. No, I'm just kidding.
like, think about it, bro. Like, you're looking at it. You said, because you brought up a good point. Like, that's how the rich get rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cash back, bro. That's where it's at, man.
What kind of cashback
Like,
cards?
okay, bro. Like, I'll give it to like if you're like, here's the thing, bro. What I mean by that is like, I'm not talking about like people. No offense, but us 3 sitting here at this table. I'm not talking about us, bro. Yeah. Like, where cashback is really just that important.
What it teaches.
No. So like they have incentives and programs. Not all credit cards, but a lot of them.
Like from banks.
Every time you make a purchase or you pay a bill.
And this
like
from a bank.
Yeah.
Oh.
They'll give you 1%, 3%, up to 5%.
See, I thought it was one of those like
every
Best Buy
time.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm glad you mentioned Best Buy. Stay the
fuck away from store cards.
Stay away from store cards when you are starting out.
See, I thought those were like.
Stay the fuck away from them things.
No, because
you don't need them.
Well, it's not that you don't need them. I have store cards, but again, I'm at a point.
I do too. I don't use them motherfuckers.
The reason why I say stay away from store cards when you're starting out is because let's say you go to Best Buy, they approve you for $1,000 limit.
You finna go run this shit up.
Guess where you can only use that Best Buy card at?
At Best Buy.
Right. Yeah. Now you just wasted
$1,000 on some bullshit.
You wasted a credit inquiry to get a credit card, to get money that you could have used anywhere. Yeah. Now you can only use that at Best Buy. Now here's the thing. You mentioned photography and going around the world. Now if you're going to use that card because it's benefiting you in life, things of that nature, that's different. I'm specifically talking about somebody, an 18, 19-year-old that's in high school right now wanting to start off their credit. So stay away from the Old Navies, the Victoria's Secrets and all that until you start actually establishing your credit. So when you walk into Academy Sports and they say, hey, you want to apply for this card? You say, hell no, I don't.
And I did it.
Yeah.
Listen, I got a question.
That's just my opinion.
I got a question, okay? So when I first moved here, I thought about maybe I should get a credit card, whatever. Now, I did try to apply for the Best Buy credit card.
Yeah, they got you.
I didn't get approved.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, when I was working at the dealership, I also tried to pay for, was it Capital One? Or what's the other one that's the C? There's Capital One.
You got Credit One, Capital One. You said it starts with a C?
I think so.
You got Citibank. You've got.
I don't know. It was one of the cards that Mike was telling me because we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for it and I got denied.
Okay.
So when I moved here from Canada, none of my credit history or whatever transfers over.
Right.
So when they look at me, my Social Security number, is that what it's called in the States? I forget.
Yes.
Yeah, Canada, it's a Social Security card, a SSC. So my SSN is only 3 years old.
Got you.
So when they look at it, they're like looking at it as like, oh, this is a 3-year-old card. Like I'm 3 years old or something like that.
Right.
So I can't get approved for nothing.
Got you.
So Chase obviously helped me to get in this car.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I'm trying to build my credit this way, make sure I'm not late on payments, stuff like that. And then eventually from there, once I actually pull a credit score, then I can start applying for some of these other cards and stuff, which I haven't been able to in the past. Because whenever they pulled it, there's no credit history. There's no credit at all. It's not bad credit. It's zero credit. Like there's nothing available. So they just deny me off the bat and just say, hey, sorry, we can't approve you for it because you have
no credit.
No credit.
Yeah, nothing.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
It's like the credit card's supposed to help you build your credit, but you can't build your credit if you don't have credit.
Yeah, yeah. No, it makes sense. And in some instances that is the case. But again, and this is a topic for another day, but there's just so many different avenues that where somebody starting out can develop credit, and you don't have to do it in the way that you're being pressured to.
Yeah.
And when I say pressured, I mean walking in the stores and getting those store cards, going to these payday loan places, all that kind of stuff. There's ways around that to build actual credit that's going to help you buy those houses, buy those cars, things of that nature. But like I said, that's a topic for a different day. Guys, before we get up out of here, I want to ask you guys one question that I think is a simple question, but a very, very unique question, right? So I'm a fan of Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey said, "Old is the goal." What do you guys think about that?
I mean, heck, I don't want to die young, so I give me a guess, yeah.
See, what you over here looking like? What do you think?
I don't want to come off as saying something that's like racist, but like
Anybody that says I don't want to be racist is being racist.
shit finna be racist.
Get off my show.
You know what? I'm fixing to just say it.
Say it, man.
Steve Harvey's black, and I've heard other.
Last time I checked, yeah, he was.
I've heard other black people like say like old is the goal because there's a lot of young black men who died way too young, whether it be like. Because let's just be honest, like, let's just take the caps off. Like, bro, listen, bro, like, I grew up around black people. I went to all black schools and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not finna be that friend. I'm not finna be that person like, oh, well, my best friend's black. Like, nah, motherfucker. Like, bro, I'm a homie, fool. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like I can really say
how in the
this.
hell did we go from old as the goal to black people?
Yeah.
Because, like, I think that's, like, something that needs
like, are you wondering the same thing? Like, I don't...
Because,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Bro, like I think he meant that from a place of like understanding that there's a lot of like black on black crime. You know what I'm saying? And like there's a lot of young black men, especially like that just did that like because of nonsense, bro. They didn't make it to an old age. That's just what I think. Like when he said that, right? Like I think that was. I'm just trying to like.
So that definitely wasn't the direction he was going in the podcast show that he was on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. And they were talking about essentially success, how to achieve it, and basically what I got from it is that, and this hit home for me. That's why I said this is a really, really cool question.
Yeah,
I have a lot of talent, right? I'm 30 years old. Yeah. I've done a lot in my life. I got a lot more to do.
Right.
And a lot of times I felt like that I was too old to do certain things. Like with the music, for instance. Again, 30 is young, but I feel like I'd be too old
to be doing music.
To be doing the music, right?
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true. Rick Ross was in his 30s when he did his music. 50 Cent is pushing 50. Dr. Dre, Snoop, all these guys. Snoop Dogg still making music at 50 years old. So what he was saying is that it doesn't matter how old you are. Never stop pursuing your dreams and your goals because they can take off at any time.
I agree with that.
So it wasn't. I could see where you would have thought that without seeing the show, but no, it wasn't.
That was like the first thing that like went to my mind. Like I think like that's one thing that like you could talk about. It could be a whole nother show. Let's just be honest. But I think that's one thing to look at it. But like also too, I agree with that, man. Like bro, I think there's too much emphasis on like age and time and doing this and doing that. Like I agree with what you're saying. Like bro, I think like bro, if you're 50 years old, if you're 6 years old and you're like, man, I want to start a business. Go do that shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like
real quick.
Yeah.
Man, I wish that everything was a little bit backwards from what it was. Like we would have all life to just experience life, live, and then at 50 or 60, or the age of retirement, we start work. You know what I mean?
How would you do that though? How would you do that?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like you because you
this
work.
motherfucker want to be in
I'm
the
just
basement.
I'm just saying,
Mom, you get my hot pocket.
I'm just saying, you work when you're so young. Like I started working when I was 13.
I wouldn't want to be 60 years old and then I start working, bro.
Me either.
My knees are already giving out.
Like I'm
the thing
old,
is,
I don't know what the fuck to do.
By the time you're old enough to retire,
I've been playing Halo for
you can't
30
do anything
years.
anyways, bro.
I'm not trying to play bingo when I'm 20, bro. I want to play bingo when I'm 60.
People I've talked to.
That was terrible,
I see what he's
bro.
saying.
I know,
I don't.
But like,
I don't.
listen. I've talked to a lot of old elderly people.
Then watch your words now.
Elderly people at the dealership, and a lot of them say, man, you know, I wish I was younger so I could explore this. I could go here, do that, and it's like they spent their whole life working.
Yeah. No, the life we live is definitely designed for us to work young and enjoy it old. But again, you know, everybody has their own path in life, and unfortunately, not everybody's able to do that. But I do understand where you're coming from.
I know what he's saying too, bro. Because like, especially being in like an environment, and I know this is kind of like right field, but like in the environment that we're in, like at the dealership, I feel like I can, and I know like a lot of people feel like this too, but I feel like I can never be away from that motherfucker because I feel like I'm finna miss something. Or I feel like I'm finna miss out on a deal. Or like, because like, you know, obviously we're not getting paid hourly. Our salary is a joke. Like that's not even a salary, right? We'll talk about that another time. But it's not, right? Like we literally pay to work there type shit. And like I see what he's saying, bro, because like the way I've been doing this shit for 3 years, almost 4. I'm going into my 4th year, bro. And bro, I haven't taken one vacation. I'm working 6 days a week. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to, like, what I was saying earlier. Like, I got that hustle. I got that grind. I got that dog in me. Like, you know, that's just who I am. But, bro, this shit tiring, bro. And, like, bro, I feel like if I continue to kind of be this way and not give myself that breathing room, you know what I'm saying? Just, like, it's cool to take that breath. I don't know how to take that breath. Like, I just don't have that shit in me. And, like, bro, it's like, it bothers me because I know, like, normal people shouldn't live like this. And, like, I know I'm not normal type shit, but, like, like, I see what he's saying, though. Like, if I keep going down this path, bro, I'm not going to have any, like, my legacy is going to be the amount of fucking cars that I sold for somebody else.
Yeah,
I see what I'm saying.
I get where you're coming from. I think it's subjective though. Life is what you make of it, and if you feel that way, then you have to go back to your law of attraction, write your goals down, figure out how you can get out of that mentality. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So I think personally, old is the goal. I think anybody that reaches past 60 is doing great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But guys, we're gonna wrap this show up, man. I greatly appreciate y'all for stopping by. Thank y'all so much, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of No Cap Allowed. And guess what? We out.